Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, and I'm with my good friend Matt, the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, sir?
I am doing so well, Mike. I'm so excited we're back to doing this on Tuesdays. I had a little bit of withdrawal. It's good to be getting back into the process of things. I literally said to myself, my kids literally reminded me this morning, like, Daddy, Mr. Zuber today? And I was like, how do you guys know? Who is monitoring my calendar of the three of you? You can't read, you know? So yeah, so it's good, but good to be back.
That is pretty awesome. So, hey, I put out a video that, got a lot of views, over 6,000. I think it's on the way to 7,000 in like a 48-hour window. It was basically comparing 2006 to 2021.
Yeah. Yeah.
That video has struck a chord with lots of people.
Yes.
It has been the video I've deleted contents or comments from that were just nasty and mean and toxic, not helpful. I delete those on any of my videos, but this one has caused it. But there's some there I left because I'm like, well, that's not really an attack at me. It's just your personal opinion. So I'll leave it.
Yeah,
right? If you attack me, I'm deleting it. It's just like, it's just not going to happen. Right. I don't need that in my life, but I wanted to read you one. And, hopefully the person who wrote this,
I'm ready. And this is raw. Like I have not heard this before.
No,
I've not heard it. I'm your completely honest reaction.
Okay, here we go. We need to start over. Nothing was fixed after 2006, and things will get worse before they will get better. Most people my age can barely afford rent, let alone buy. We don't get paid a living wage.
Are you done?
I'm done. Yes. There's a lot in that.
Yeah, there's a lot in that. There's a lot in that. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, you know what? I'm a high school dropout.
Yeah.
All right. So for any job ever, it didn't happen. I had to prove my worth to whoever my boss was at the time to get them to pay me more. I was never, ever, ever a box checker. I was never, ever, ever, hey, I showed up for my shift today on time. And what did you do once you got here? And how good were you? And were you the best? And listen, employers, largely speaking, are very good at seeing who can handle more responsibility and who can't handle the responsibility that they have. So as far as the wage thing goes, I find often that people are paid exactly what they're worth. And if you're not getting paid what you're worth, go somewhere that will pay you what you're worth. It's just that simple. When I was unhappy with my wage, I would talk to my employer and say, I believe I deserve more because I'm doing this much more. That said, and I wouldn't do it the day that I started doing those things. I would do it after 30, 60, 90 days of doing that task, showing I could do it well and say, I think it's working out. I'd like to make more money. And there were some people that said no. And I said, okay, that's fine. I understand. And then I went looking for another job. It was just that simple for me. So that's the piece about the wage. Well,
let's talk about that because there's a lot in this, right? The living wage is certainly a trigger word for me as well.
Agreed.
It's like, and the other thing I've seen a lot about is, hey, people on minimum wage, can't do this or can't do that. I'm like, are we only striving for minimum wage now? I mean, did that become a thing? Right.
Yep.
Like the only time I had minimum wage was my first job and I was 13. Right. After that, I busted my ass, and I made an extra 15 cents or a quarter. And oh, by the way, my first wage was like $3.15. You people today are getting like $15 or $12.50 or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
When did the minimum wage become what we would accept of ourselves? Right. I mean, I forget, was it Dale Carnegie or I think it was Jim Rome talked about a McDonald's employee getting minimum wage. And then if he whistled taking out the garbage, he got an extra quarter. Right. When did personal responsibility go out the window and striving to be better? And again, like you, I wanted a better wage. I either asked my employer, did more things, I had a second job, folks.
Yep. That too.
Right. You guys don't understand, right? This living wage, that is just it's being put out there and people are just unhappy with where they are in life. And they're just using that word. Yep. As far as I'm concerned, a person on minimum wage probably shouldn't qualify to buy a home.
They shouldn't. I mean,
I was like, when did that become a thing?
Housing is not an entitlement. It just is not. That is life. And you know what? Society works for far more people than it doesn't work for. And if you don't like it, renounce your citizenship, go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's a free country. Go somewhere else.
It's a free country. We live in a free country. If you want, look at all of the other countries around the world that experience socialism, and then you'll see why so many of them come here.
Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about is most people my age barely can afford to rent, let alone buy. I mean, I want, yeah, I don't know, based on the picture. And again, you never know if I mean, the pictures of a lady, you have no idea in social media, right? As far as I know, it's an 80-year-old guy. I have no idea. But I'm going to assume they're young. I'm going to assume mid-20s, again, just based on the picture.
Sure.
Right. So younger than my daughter, right? To put it in context, right? My daughter's about to be 30. I mean, what would you give to take what you know now and start over at, say, 20 or 21?
Oh, dear Lord. I started at that age.
Yeah.
But it's because, I mean, my first property I bought in my very early 20s. And it was because I worked my butt off. I started off in a telemarketing department. The people that everyone hangs up on. Yeah. That was me. I did that horrible job.
Worst job in sales.
Worst job ever. If you want to go home every night and be like, I don't enjoy anything I do. It steals your joy. Yes. That is a joy stealing job. Now, that being said, it was a stepping stone. It was what it was. And so, I mean, I think, so I did start young. I was a high school dropout. I didn't have any money. I worked multiple jobs. You name it, I did it legally. But I worked my butt off. And the whole goal was to save up the money for that first deposit. That was the whole goal. Yeah, everything that I did.
Yeah, these things just drive me crazy. What do you want to bet this individual owns $1,000 phone? What do you want to bet?
I would be willing to bet you, yes, she absolutely, if it is a she, so this person definitely owns $1,000 phone.
Yep.
I would bet you anything that she has a nice flat panel television.
Yep. Probably multiple.
Yep. I would bet you anything that she has a car payment.
Probably.
Yep. And I would say it's a 60-40 coin flip in favor of she probably has a college education.
Probably. And college debt.
Yep. And like
those were all choices you made.
100%. So sorry, this is mean by me. I'm very aggressive towards people that make their own decisions and then want me to bail that out because it didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I made the decision to drop out of school.
Yeah.
And I was going to live with the consequences.
Yeah. I made the decision to get married at 19. I mean, that's not a track record, right? Nope, exactly. Not a lot of people get married at 19 and go on to complete college and a master's degree, right?
100%. But there's the other side of that too, Mike, which is we also made all the decisions that we made to be successful.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Which was, I'm going to work 100 hours a week.
Oh God, yes.
Right? Yeah. During my 20s, I worked 100 hours a week. I had no life. My friends always complained, we never see you. You never come hang out with us. Whatever. Yeah.
You know what my college experience was? I went to school at 7:30 in the morning. I was that idiot that I'm like, what's the first class? So I was in class at 7:30.
Yep.
I was out of class either at 10:30 or 11:15, depending on the day. I was at my job by 12. I worked till 9 and I did homework after that.
Yep.
And I had a second job on the weekend.
Yep.
So every day, mother. Mm-hmm. When did work become a problem? I mean,
this is when it spins me up, is because at the end of the day, everyone has the freedom to make their own decision. And I don't begrudge anybody that wants to work for minimum wage and work for what they do and how they want to live their life. I begrudge them nothing.
No,
I don't. You can do whatever you'd like. You can do whatever you like, but everybody wants the life you and I have now. Nobody wants the life you and I had 20 years ago or 30 years ago when we were doing all the things that you needed to do to get it done.
Yeah, there's so much in that that people don't realize. I mean, it was a 15-year journey, and I promise you, almost no one would be willing to go through what Olivia and I did for 15 years.
No, I almost went bankrupt 3 times.
Yeah.
when the crash happened, then I got hit with a lead order. I mean, I got hit with some of the worst stuff that was just like, you feel like you're going to crumble under the weight of the world.
Yeah.
But you know what? All you can do is one foot in front of the other. You persevere, you keep your head down, you keep on working, you keep on trying to be a pace setter. And let the chips fall where they may. And if we had gone bankrupt, we had gone bankrupt. It's just the way it goes. And hey, that's just, it happens. And I would have done a reset, and I would have gotten, and you know what, honestly, Mike, I would have been further along if I just bankrupted myself.
Yeah. It's funny how that, yeah, it's funny how that happens.
I made the decision to, even though I was getting screwed and not getting paid rents in the crash, in the Great Recession, I made the decision that I'm not going to lose those buildings, and I'm going to go to work every day to pay that mortgage, even though my tenants aren't paying me. And I had to save up the money just in order to evict them. So yeah, I don't want to hear about livable wage or any of that other stuff, because at the end of the day, I'm a 9th grade dropout and I made it, and anyone else can too, but it's not without an incredible mountain and having to do a lot of hard work that you don't get there. Because even if you're making minimum wage, which I think federal is like $7.75 or something like that. I think California is 12, but I think federal is like $7.75. Even if you're at $7.75 and you work 70 hours a week, that's enough to have an apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to talk about, again, this individual, I'm going to guess, is just parroting things that she's heard. Again, I'm assuming it's a she based on the picture. Says, we need to start over. Nothing was fixed after 2006. I would love to ask her, what do you think needs to be fixed? Now, I agree with the statement. I just don't think she knows what she's saying. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's easy for the person that walks to the table that has absolutely nothing but a minimum wage job to tell all of guys like us who spent the last 13 and 14 years creating wealth, building businesses, giving jobs, paying amazing wages to our contractors and our, the people that help us grow the business. It's really easy for them because they have nothing to lose other than the rising tide lifting them up.
Yeah.
We're the ones with everything to lose because we've spent the last 14 years missing family events. And I'm not looking for a boohoo.
No,
I'm just saying we made the conscious choice, missing family events, not taking vacations. The list is long and distinguished. It is long, not getting sleep. The number of times that it's like, I could look at it and over the course of the week, I might've gotten 26 hours of sleep for the week.
Yeah.
For the week. So I don't ask anybody to feel sorry for me, but that was the investment that I was making in me and in my business and in my family. And so I didn't get it because my last name was something or because of who I was born to. I worked my butt off for it and they can too. If you don't have it, it's because you're not doing what it takes to get it.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I think it's easier today to do what we did because there's, YouTube University, right? We're talking to it on it. There's books out there. There's other ways. I mean, the biggest thing I struggled with the first year after we got the first rental, my biggest struggle, it took us like 9 months to get the second one, was I was hungry for more information and it just wasn't out there. There was some kind of like salespeople that were trying to, sell me $1,000 course. There was the back of the room people. There wasn't anybody I could look at. Hey, he has a job and he did this. We are both examples of that. I would have spent money to talk to guys like us. Just to feel better. Like,
just okay, you're in the room, Mike.
Yeah, no, again, you don't even have to tell me what you're doing, but just let me see you as a shining light that it's possible. That would have made me feel so much better.
Try trying to get a call back at 21 years old. What are you joking? Like literally, I was a rep. First time I went on the road and I literally show up at the Hertz counter and they said, yes, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I'm here to rent a car. They said, yeah, sure. Give us your license. I give them the license and they're like, we can't rent you a car.
Yeah, you gotta be 25.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Uber didn't exist then. Lyft didn't exist then. You know what I had to do? I had to take an $84 cab.
Exactly.
To my first appointment because I couldn't get a rental car. And then I got yelled at because I got the rental car because I didn't get the rental car.
Exactly. Like, why are you doing spending all that money?
Yeah. So it was like, it is what it is. Like that's life's journey. And you know what? People that are winners pivot. Welcome to life. You better know how to pivot because almost nothing goes, something that comes up in every single deal. And that's the toughest part as a new real estate investor is you don't know what's going to come up. Let me promise you this. Something is going to come up and it's going to make you question whether or not you should close on that deal.
Oh yeah.
guaranteed. If not, something every third to fifth day. And
Yeah,
that's where doing the work actually helps you understand, should this stop me from doing this deal?
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I try to tell people all the time, right? They look at guys like you and I on top of the mountain trying to pull people up. And I keep reminding them, A, it's a people business. People disappoint you all the time. And oh, by the way, you know, karma has an interesting way of testing you to see how bad you want it. Cause I remember there was a run, like 6 houses where the sewer lines popped because the water was off for so long.
Oh, yeah.
It's like another $4,500 sewer line. Jesus. And so it was like month after month after month. I was like, God damn.
You're actually lucky to be doing that in California, not in the lovely granite
Oh,
state.
yeah, no thanks.
It's
Yeah,
like $9,000 here.
oh, that would have been bad. That would have
The
been bad.
worst.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think I feel better having this conversation. I wanted, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm saving that comment. I'm going to wait, talk to Matt about it. So I appreciate it. How can people follow you?
Lumberjacklandlord.com and Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube. And yeah, you can post those crazy thoughts on my channel too. Like, I don't,
Yep.
and I'll even answer that stuff. Like, there were a couple of guys that were, one of the videos, I think that one of the ones that you and I had done, where he was talking about, I'd rather wait it out and buy at a 10% mortgage and get a better price on a house.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about that.
Yeah. That's not a good idea. Yeah. Do the math, buddy. Do the math.
Exactly. It's just math. If it
Just
works now, it'll work.
There you go. All right, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.